Let's get real for a second. Your paycheck hits your account, and before you even have time to breathe, it's slipping away like sand between your fingers. But do you know why? It's not some scam or mistake. It's the quiet, invisible result of decisions you made without even realizing it. A free trial that turned into a monthly subscription, a budget that was supposed to bring peace, but somehow feels more like a trap. It's not your fault. It's the slow drain of choices you didn't even see coming. Does it ever feel like you're running a race you didn't sign up for? The finish line, financial freedom, peace of mind, always feels just out of reach, moving a little farther away no matter how hard you push, and the guilt over every small purchase, the nagging feeling that no matter how much you try, you're still falling behind. That was Paul. His story isn't unique. He wasn't reckless, he wasn't irresponsible, he was just stuck in the cycle, earning, spending, stressing, repeating. Paul thought he had his finances under control. Every month he'd sit down with his budget, trying to squeeze out every penny. He'd tell himself, if I just cut back here, skip that maybe, just maybe, I'll finally get ahead. But here's the harsh truth. Cutting back doesn't work if there's nothing left to save. And for Paul, there was never enough. No matter how much he trimmed, there was never enough to get ahead. His savings were stuck at zero, his debt kept climbing, and his stress, it was off the charts. Sound familiar? If it does, trust me, you're not alone. 90% of Americans are right there with you. We work, we hustle, we pay our bills, cover our needs, and then wonder, where did all my money go? Here's the truth nobody tells you. Traditional budgeting doesn't work in today's fast-paced world. Why? Because when we focus on cutting costs, we forget to prioritize our future selves. Saving becomes an afterthought, pushed aside until never. But there's a smarter way, reverse budgeting. Once you get it, everything changes. Traditional budgeting has you subtracting expenses from income and hoping something's left to save. But when unexpected expenses hit, your leftovers vanish before you can save a dime. Reverse budgeting flips that. You pay your priorities, the things that secure your future first, then everything else comes second, period. That's exactly what Paul did. Instead of hoping to save whatever was left, he paid himself first. He set aside a fixed percentage for savings and investments before touching anything else. Then, he adjusted his lifestyle to fit what remained. The result? It worked like magic. His savings grew, his debt shrank, and the stress faded. Today, Paul is living his dream life, not because of luck, but because he changed how he managed his money. Trust me, you can do it too, but it starts now. It's time to put reverse budgeting to work and build the future you deserve. I know what some of you might be thinking. I'm barely scraping by. How can I set aside 20% of my income? I get it. When I first learned about reverse budgeting, it felt impossible. But here's the thing. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. Start small. Even 5% makes a difference. Over time, you can increase it. The key is consistency. Pay yourself first, no excuses. By committing to reverse budgeting, you're transforming your mindset. You're saying, I'm worth investing in, my dreams matter, my future deserves attention. And trust me, that shift changes everything. Here's my challenge. Try reverse budgeting for 1 month. Pick a percentage of your income to prioritize for your future, automate those transfers, and watch what happens when you put yourself first. But wait, before we dive deeper, I want to introduce you to something that will make your budgeting journey even easier. The YGI budgeting tool. Whether you're using reverse budgeting or any other method, this tool is designed to support you every step of the way. It's fully automated, making calculations a breeze, and it even generates visual graph charts to track your progress. With this tool, you can easily monitor and control your finances, giving you a clear, real-time view of where your money is going. It's simple, intuitive, and a game changer in managing your financial future. So go ahead and check it out. It's here to make your path to financial freedom smoother and more efficient. So, what exactly is reverse budgeting? Let's break it down. Alright fam, here's the deal. Reverse budgeting is simple but powerful. Instead of waiting until the end of the month to see what's left for savings, if anything, you flip the script. You decide what percentage of your income will go straight to your priorities, savings, investments, or debt repayment. This is non-negotiable. Only after those goals are funded do you focus on everyday expenses like rent, groceries, and fun. Paul used to feel stuck in an endless loop. Every month he promised to save more, invest smarter, or tackle his credit card debt. But by the time bills were paid, there was nothing left. He felt defeated, like he was failing at adulting. Then he found reverse budgeting. At first, Paul thought, there's no way I can afford 20%. But he started small, 10%. He automated $300 from each paycheck for savings and $200 for his debt. And guess what? It worked. In 6 months, Paul had a $1,500 emergency fund, slashed his credit card balance, and lowered his monthly payments. He wasn't living paycheck to paycheck anymore. He had breathing room. More importantly, he had hope. Reverse budgeting didn't magically give Paul more money. It gave him a system and a mindset to use his money intentionally. He stopped reacting to his finances and started leading them. And that made all the difference. Here's why reverse budgeting works better than traditional budgeting. It puts you first. Reverse budgeting prioritizes your dreams. By focusing on savings and investments first, you're building wealth consistently, even if it's small at first. It removes guilt around spending. Once your financial goals are covered, you can spend the rest without guilt. It builds discipline without deprivation. Instead of cutting every little expense, you focus on meeting big picture goals. Once those are met, you get to live within the means of what's left. It's freedom with structure. Now that you get the idea, here's how to make reverse budgeting work for you. Step 1. Set your priorities. Ask yourself, what's most important financially? Whether it's building an emergency fund, paying off debt, or saving for a vacation, pick your top 3 goals and allocate percentages to them. For example, 50% to debt repayment, 30% to long-term investments, 20% to short-term savings. Step 2. Automate everything. Set up automatic transfers from your checking to savings, investment, or debt accounts on payday. Step 3. Live off the rest. Cover monthly expenses with what's left after funding your priorities. Be honest about needs versus wants and adjust if necessary. Step 4. Track monthly. Check in each month to see how you're doing. Celebrate wins and stay flexible as things change. So, what kind of results can you expect when you commit to reverse budgeting? Let's break it down. Emergency fund growth, debt reduction, investment growth, freedom to spend guilt-free, long-term financial security. All right, y'all, let's get practical. You've heard about reverse budgeting, you understand why it works, but how do you actually use it to transform your finances? Now, I'm breaking it down step by step using a demo income of $3,000 per month. By the end of this, you'll have a clear roadmap to follow so you can start seeing massive results in your own life. Step 1. Decide on your financial priorities. For our example, we're going to focus on 3 key areas: emergency fund savings, debt repayment, investments. Now here's where reverse budgeting shines. Instead of waiting until the end of the month to see if there's money left over for these goals, we prioritize them up front. Step 2, break down your income. Let's say you bring home $3,000 after taxes each month. Here's how we'll divide that using reverse budgeting principles. Priority 1, emergency fund, 10%. That $300 per month goes straight into a high-yield savings account dedicated to emergencies like car repairs, medical bills, or job loss. Over time, this builds up to 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. Priority 2, debt repayment, 10%. That $300 per month goes into credit card debt, student loans, or personal loans. This payment helps you chip away at the balance faster. Priority 3, investments, 10%. That $300 per month goes toward a Roth IRA, 401k, or even a brokerage account. Compound interest means every dollar invested now grows exponentially over decades. Total allocated for priorities, $900. That's 30% of income. That leaves us with $2,100 for everything else: rent, utilities, groceries, transportation, subscriptions, fund money, and more. Step 3. Allocate remaining funds to expenses. Next, we allocate the remaining $2,100 to cover all your monthly expenses. Let's break it down realistically. Housing, 35%. $1,050, rent or mortgage payments. Keep housing costs below 35% of your take-home pay to avoid stretching yourself too thin. Utilities and bills, 10%. $300 includes electricity, water, internet, phone bills, etc. Shop around for better rates if needed. Groceries, 10%, $300. Stock up on essentials without overspending. Meal prep and coupons can help stretch this budget further. Transportation, 10%, $300. Gas, public transit passes, car insurance, maintenance, factor in occasional repairs if you own a vehicle. Fund money and miscellaneous, 5%, $150. Dinners out, coffee runs, hobbies, or impulse buys. Having some wiggle room keeps you sane and prevents burnout. Total, allocated for expenses, $2,100, 70% of income. Step 4, automate everything. Set up automatic transfers on payday to fund your priorities, $900 total first. This way, you'll know exactly what's left to spend, and you won't have to stress about saving or investing. Step 5. Adjust as needed. Life happens. If you need extra cash for gifts or unexpected expenses, that's okay. Reverse budgeting is flexible. Just adjust temporarily and get back on track ASAP. Remember, reverse budgeting isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Start today, stay consistent, and watch your financial dreams become reality. If you found value in this video, drop a comment below telling me which part resonated most. And don't forget to share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Together, we can help more people take control of their money and their futures. Visit yourgreatestinvestment.com and book a free consultation to see how to improve your cash flow. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and share with someone you think might benefit from this content. Tell me what you would like to see in future videos that will help you. Comment below. See you next time.